Visa Japan states, we will not restrict legal transactions but by US standards. AKA, this basically means that Visa Japan or Visa and all these other credit card companies, this is code for they will restrict anime, manga, and anything related to Japan, but if it's only fans that allow actual exploitation of real people, that's A-okay in their eyes. They will completely deflect, and they will completely try to, kind of brush it off and not bring any attention to it. They'll allow that stuff to happen. They'll pick and choose what they censor or follows legal transactions, but when it comes to Japan, it is bad. Anime is bad, Japan is bad. That's basically what they're trying to say here. And this narrative that I have been seeing more and more often now is legitimately, it's getting annoying. Like, it actually is getting annoying, because this is a common tactic I see a lot of companies do, and it's not necessarily just, for instance, these credit card, debit card companies. I've seen a lot of news pieces and stuff over the last 10, 20 years, just memeing alive, okay? I've seen news pieces try to slander Japan and basically say, if you participate in anime, manga, whatever, you might as well be a PDF. That's what you are. But then they'll turn around and they'll praise Japan in some areas when it deems them okay to be able to make a profit or something. A lot of these companies really like to go the age-old Japan bad, Japan weird, Japan needs to conform to our ideologies and our norms, or they are basically demons. That's what you clearly see on display by a lot of these companies, and I'm just going to be blunt with you. It is just straight up racism at this point. Like, when I keep seeing issues like this pop up, and I keep seeing these companies that are not actually Japanese companies coming into Japan and trying to dictate what Japan does, it just feels like racism. It's like, it's their culture. Stop trying to force their culture to adapt to what you want. It's their ideology, it's their culture, let them be. And it's really getting annoying. But the good news here on all of this that I'm currently talking about is that this issue is now reaching into the mainstream media of Japan. The public of Japan now, the mainstream, not just, let's say, otaku boards or people that love anime and manga and stuff. Straight up, you have mainstream media now in Japan now talking about this issue of Visa and payment sovereignty coming into question because of everything that's been going on. And I want to give everybody a quick summary of what's been happening for those that are not in the know. Basically, for the last 3-4 years now, there has been an encroachment of credit card companies basically forcing different sites to censor themselves. If they have, like, for instance, adult content, or they have ecchi content or whatever, they force these companies to basically censor. They will remove the payment options, and if they do not follow suit and censor the stuff, the payment options will be completely gone, and it will result in basically the sites to be terminated. They will die because they can't make money anymore. So it's basically trying to force them into bowing down to you, and that's it. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of discussion around this. Like, for instance, why isn't Japan have, like, its own credit card, debit card? They do. I think it's called JCB. I don't know the extensive lore of it, but also there has been moments, from my understanding, correct me if I am wrong here, there's been moments that also with this whole situation with Visa and all that, and MasterCard, that has resulted in them also bowing and doing the exact same thing. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong there. But the point of the matter is that it's clear that a lot of people in Japan really mainly use Visa and MasterCard and stuff like that within Japan, or PayPal or something. And with these restrictions coming in, it's forcing a lot of these sites and stuff to basically self-censor itself, causing a lot of closures, yada yada, you get the point. But fast forward a little bit, basically this has been an ongoing thing for the last few years now, ever since basically kind of the big boom of anime and manga, basically at the beginning of the 2020s. It's gotten increasingly worse as time went on, and now you have it to where they're trying to do this, and they've been basically trying to deflect and say they're not responsible, they're not doing it, it's some middleman that's doing it, but we all know that's a bunch of garbage. They're definitely just deflecting, and we know for a fact that they are bullying these different companies to doing what they actually want to do. So we get into today. Basically, with all the coverage and all the people now that's been talking about this, and myself included, it has brought this situation to more of a public space. A lot more people are discussing this, and people that know way more than even I do that live within Japan are talking about the situation and how bad it currently is, which now has resulted in actual mainstream outlets picking this up and talking about it in articles and stuff. So this is the start of very good news, because as more people, the common populace, find out about this and what's going on here, it's going to result in basically maybe some pushback and maybe regulations and laws put in place to protect these said sites or companies. Now let's get into the brass tacks of things. Why is this happening? Well, obviously there is a lot of sites in Japan that have adult content. Now, it's within the right for companies to be able to do whatever they want with certain content, etc. But though, in this case, what these credit card, debit card companies are doing, they more or less, they are kind of, I don't know if they are fully breaking the law, but they are definitely going around and going into a gray area to force companies to do what they want. And it's causing a rapid amount of censorship within the industry. And a lot of people like to cite that are against these discussions say, it's good. I'm glad all this adult content, etc. is being censored. I've seen people push back on this. But the thing is that if you allow this to happen, it's going to encroach upon other areas. There's no stopping point. Once that door is open and it is allowed to continue to press through that doorway, then there's no stopping point. Where is the end? There is none. That is the point. However, I want to also showcase that these companies have no moral right to dictate what people can buy with their money when they actually straight up allow you to get like an OnlyFans subscription. When there was a damning article that came out literally a few months back, or a month and a half ago, I talked about, where there was actual exploitation on the platform for years, cited for years, that they actively have ignored even to this day. And so if they're going to pick and choose, they have no authority or even right to do something like this for any content if they're going to allow something like that. So all I'm saying is that there is some fight back. Japan is striking back against these companies. It's slow, but it's happening. Politicians are talking about it. The news is talking about it. More people are talking about it. As word continues to spread, this is good. It's good to see more people talking about this, and that is why I keep making videos on this topic, because more people need to become aware of this. This is not okay. This is coming into spaces that are not their spaces and trying to dictate and force them to fall under their control, then actually try to integrate into the actual said culture. But I'll leave it at that. Wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. It was something I noticed and I wanted to talk about. But I love you guys. Be safe. Stay healthy. Chibi out.